Hey guys, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would come on and share with you some of my current favorites, and I have some okay products. Well, they're okay, but they're not bad, but they're okay. And then I also have one fail, but at the moment my lash is a fail because it just won't hang on. But I hope you guys can't see it from there. But let's go ahead and jump into the products that I have here to talk about. I'm going to go ahead and start with my fail, and then we'll end with the stuff that are my favorites so we can end the video on a high note. Let's go ahead and get started. So my fail is probably the video that I just did last, or 2 videos ago at this point, which is the Urban Decay Wired Palette. I was so excited to see this come out, especially since I have the original electric palette, and everybody had been wanting, a current version of it, and just for them to even come back out with the electric palette. So I picked this up from Sephora, and I looked at it in store and I was like, oh, it's so pretty. I love the way it's organized. It has the face and body shadows that's organized real nicely for us, and it has face, body, and eye because the pressed pigments, it's been a thing lately where people are really freaking out if they're getting some staining from these pressed pigments. It's been a lot lately. It's been more to the forefront than normal, excuse me. But overall, I really liked the color. I feel like it was updated. It was fresh. I love how some of the colors were very much the same. Some of the colors were a little variation, a little different. Like this one, you have more of a green shade versus a turquoise. You don't have the silver in the that you have an electric palette, but you have the white shade. So overall, I thought this was a very fresh approach to the electric palette. And then when you come into packaging, it's nice and compact. You have a mirror, it's hard, and then you have wired, and it's totally raised. And I just love the way this looks. But the problem is it's so dusty. The shadows evaporate. It's not pigmented. And that is not what the original Urban Decay electric palette is like that I fell in love with. So unfortunately, this product is a fail. This is not better than the original. You have some very pretty shades in here, but like the shade Current, it is so tightly pressed that you have to literally swirl your brush around, pack on a little bit of shadow. Swirl your brush around, pack on, because you can't get the color to really pick up on your brush. Not to mention this shade Fluorescent, it just evaporates. Like you put it on, it's like, oh, it's pigmented, and then maybe start working on your other eye and it's like, is there any shadow left? What happened to it? I didn't even touch it. Haven't even gone a full day yet. And there's no shadow on my eyes, and I'm still working on my eye look. So overall, I had to give, just come on and let you guys know that this is a no. And I'm going to take this back to the store, hopefully, if I can, because, my city's about to be on lockdown, basically, with COVID-19. So let's jump into a couple of okay products. The first product I have is by McGrath Labs, and this is one of her OpuLust glosses. Now, this is the shade Bronze Seductruss. So I picked this up at Sephora. I was just kind of perusing around, and I saw that the glosses were there available in that local Sephora. So I decided to pick it up. Now, when you put it on, it is very pigmented at first, but then it just kind of wears away. And even though it's a lot of glitter in the shade, it is very smooth. So the quality of the gloss is good. But what makes it okay for me is the fact that it's $30, because I feel like this gloss is beautiful, but it's just not anything that I can't get maybe from another brand, or at this point, I'm overpaying $30 for a lip product I just honestly am. For certain times I'm like, okay, it's fine, but I much prefer her kits where they're minis. So if this came in a mini, I would be like, okay, yes. I love her other lip glosses and those particular formula, but the OpuLust gloss formula, I'm just like, it's pretty. It doesn't stay as pigmented as long as I feel like some of her other Lust glosses do. So overall, I just put this in the fine category, or the just okay category. It's not a bad product at all. You might feel differently based on if you picked up a different shade. The formulation's nice. the glitters are very micro smooth. But like I said, it's just like the pigmentation is there for a while, but then it kind of fades. It doesn't leave any crazy goopiness on your lips. But like I said, I feel like the price point really just played a factor when I thought about it. I was like, it's great, but it's not that great. It's just okay. Another product that was just okay to me is the Natasha De Nona Love palette. So this is not a bad palette at all, and it does retail for $65 because it is kind of like the new package size and the new reduced product in the pans for these eyeshadow palettes. I do appreciate that it was, you know, the smaller price point. The palette to me is actually very beautiful, but I feel like a lot of my looks kind of look the same, especially with the shimmer shades. I feel like some of the shimmers could have been a little bit more stand out, a little bit more bold. You had a lot of topper shades, and some showed up, and some just kind of looked all like the same look. I did a video where it was one palette, 3 looks, and I feel like all my looks look the same, even though I use totally different shadows in all of my looks for the most part. So overall, I don't think like this is her best work, but I don't feel like it's a bad palette at that. What made this palette just okay for me is I feel like the shimmer shades should have been more bold or more impactful, and a lot of them ended up being just kind of like topper shades. Another downside for me for the palette was that when I did my looks, especially when I did my video with the one palette 3 looks on this, every look looked the same, even though I used different shadows. So I don't feel like it's a bad palette, but I just feel like it's just okay, and it's definitely not Natasha De Nona's best work. So that's why it's just in the okay palette. So I don't say like, oh, it's horrible. It's not. But I just feel the shadows, like I said, it could have just been more impactful. Some of these mattes around here could have been a little bit more bold. And I just wish that, like, even the shade, like you have Pure Love, we've seen that shade so many times where it's a purple with a blue flip. And it's kind of sheer, topper, you could build it up. We've seen that shadow so many times. So like I said, it's not a terrible palette. I love the color scheme, but I just wish some things could have been tweaked, and it would probably be in the favorite category. But overall, like I said, it's just okay. First up, I have the Morphe Glamour Bronze, and this is the shade Phenom, and you get 20 grams of product, or 0.7 ounces for like $19, which is actually not bad. So once you open it up, you have this big mirror, and you have this huge, massive bronzer. So like I said, I picked up the shade Phenom. They have recently done a shade expansion, and I have it on today, and I just feel like it's a beautiful color. It's nice and rich. It definitely gives you that bronzy feel. You get a little sculpted feel with the bronzer. And also, not to mention, they do run a tiny bit red, so if that's not really your vibe, then just kind of keep that in mind. Bronzers are also very smooth and pigmented at the same time. The first time I tried this out, I put way too much on my brush, and I was just like, whoa. So if you were looking for a standout bronzer that, you know, has lots of pigmentation and comes in a wide variety of colors, I would definitely pick up the Glamour Bronze bronzer. It has just been like a staple for the past week and a half. I've been out of town for work. I've been on like a special assignment, and I've used this every day. I've used it with eye looks. I've used it maybe in the crease. I've also used it on my cheeks just to warm me up, and I just really been loving the effect that I get with this bronzer. So I would definitely check this particular bronzer out. Next up, another product that I have been wearing all week long. I mean, literally, I tried this product out, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this color, it is everything. So this is actually by the Lip Bar, and I've talked about the Lip Bar a lot on my channel actually. And I picked this up from Target. It retailed for about $13. This is a lip gloss, and the shade is called Dream Chaser. So once you open it up, you know, you have your doe foot applicator, and it is a purpley, it's a dual chrome shade. It has purple and it has gold flecks in here, but it's very pretty. And unlike most lip glosses, this has very thick in consistency, but not a thickness where it's getting goopy or chunky on your lips. But the color payoff is immense, and it stays on all day. So you can eat with it. It's moisturizing. You're not going to have a problem with your lips feeling. And I wore this for 12 hours. I was working 12-hour shifts on this assignment, and I barely even touched up when wearing this gloss, and it was just so beautiful. And I got so many compliments when I wear it. Everybody wanted to know, like, what do you have on? It hasn't even moved. And that was beautiful because this formulation just stayed so well. And, you know, when we're all used to like those liquid lipsticks that don't move, you know, after a while your mouth just feels kind of cracked and dry, but it's not the case with that. And I actually been pairing it with this 24/7 Glide On liner by Urban Decay in the shade Venom. So these two together just kind of shift the change, because this is a more of a burgundy plum lip liner, as you can see right here. And these two together have just been a beautiful combination, and I have been living for it. I mean, literally wore this like every day except for maybe 2 days, but I have been loving this lip gloss, and I definitely think you should check it out. So we have the Skin Fetish Concealers by Pat McGrath, along with her Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder, okay? You know, it's a mouthful with any Pat McGrath products. So let's jump into the concealers. First, I picked up 2 shades, which was Medium Deep 22 and Medium Deep 20. My foundation shade is actually Medium Deep 22. So the concealers come in 36 shades, and every shade basically has a foundation match, which is wonderful. So she suggests that you start off with your foundation, and then you go up or down depending if you want to contour or highlight. So like I said, I picked up the shade M20, and this is my highlighter shade, and I do have it on right now underneath my eyes. And I have been loving these concealers. When I first did my first impressions of them, I liked them, but I just didn't know what to think. The product is very thick and it's creamy, but it is weightless. You barely feel it underneath your eyes, and the coverage that you get is amazing. You have a natural matte coverage. I was a little taken aback because I didn't know what to expect, even though I didn't want the concealers to be the same consistency as the foundation, because the foundation is definitely a lot lightweight, a little bit more runnier in formulation versus the concealers. But let me tell you, these blend out like a charm. You do not have a problem patting these out underneath your under eye or anywhere else on your face where you want to spot conceal. I have actually been using shade 22 as a foundation because the foundation I love is one of my favorite foundations, but sometimes I just want more of a maybe more matte appearance versus glowy, and I have very dry skin, so these are actually formulated for people who have dry skin, combo, oily, everything arranges the gamut, but your skin does not feel dry or cakey with these concealers. And I think she just did such a great job. The packaging is very heavy, glass, like you see, like if you drop this, it's gonna make a sound. I think it will be okay if you drop it. Come to think of it, you know, I don't think it will break, but you do have to be cautious of this. And I think that she just did such a great job on this. And the color range is impeccable. The coverage is impeccable. It does not crease. And then when you set it with this powder is so micro smooth. Now there are 3 shades of the powder. I got the deep shade, even though like it was maybe suggested that I should get the medium shade. When I went into Sephora that day, I couldn't even find the medium shade. But this powder is micro smooth. When I say smooth, I mean smooth. And it is meant to be put underneath your eye, but you can put it all over, and it just gives you a super blurred, super polished, super just flawless appearance. It is not cakey. It doesn't make you look dry. It doesn't give you a dry feeling. So overall, I mean, if you just pick this up, the powder is just so silky smooth and sheer, and just kind of blends out to give a nice veil on your face. Now overall, the packaging is a mess for me. I don't know why she does that. You know, like the concealers have bomb packaging, but you know, the powder, it has terrible packaging, kind of like the same with the foundation. The foundation has beautiful packaging, but the primer is like the label's peeling off. You have this little bitty mirror, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do with it? I can see one eye out of it. And even when you turn it over on the back, it's like the writing is already kind of starting to fade on it. So wish she would have gave us a better compact to go along with these concealers, but overall, it is a really fabulous product, and if you were thinking about trying it, I would definitely go ahead and try it. Now, my last favorite is the Enduring Love palette by Sydney Grace. This palette is so nice. If you love quality eyeshadows, this is a brand that you need to try. I have been using this brand for several years now, and this is their second eyeshadow palette that they came out with. And what made it great is that they actually came out with two different versions. They came out with a light version and a deep version. So I have the deep version, and this palette retails for about $52, but the quality is impeccable. You do have a nice, great big mirror right here. I did not take the plastic off my mirror, so if you're wondering why it's blurry. And then you have these beautiful shades. You have such bold mattes. They're creamy, they're easy to blend, and they're very, very pigmented. And then the shimmer shades are amazing. You get so many great looks from this palette. I have been reaching into it over and over and over again. I want to say I got this palette in January, and it is a permanent palette to their collection, and I have used it non-stop, which is a little surprising to me. Well, surprising and not surprising only because this palette is a little bit cooler tone in nature, and I do tend to love warm tone shades. But the formulation has just been so good. I'm like, I have not want to put it down. And you know, I have my finger going across the shadow right there. When I think I did the video, my finger went right into the shadow. But you get so many beautiful looks. You get neutral looks. You even have a couple warm looks you can get because of the shade Darcy and Romeo. And then you can get, like I said, you can get bold and you can get grungy looks. You can get jewel tone looks because of the shade Elizabeth and Ruth and Abigail. So overall, this is a fabulous palette. If you're looking for a palette that you can use every day, you can transition to going to maybe like, you know, going out and like special occasions, this is a great palette to have, and the formulation on it is just amazing. I kind of compare this formulation to like maybe Colored Rain. If you love Colored Rain, I feel like you would love this particular formula right here. So with that being said, it was not too many products, but these are the products that I have really been loving for the year of 2020. And like I said, maybe like one fail, which isn't bad. I haven't been buying a lot of makeup. I mean, most of the makeup, I'm like, what is this? I don't want it. But I hope you guys really like the products that I presented to you guys today. And let me know down below in the comments if you have any things, if you tried out any of the things that I have mentioned today, just let me know, because you know I love to chat in the comments with you guys. And give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because you know I would love to have you in my little makeup family. And with that being said, you already know what time it is. It is time for our chair dance. Hey, chair dance. Chair dance. Chair dance. Chair dance. All right, y'all. Bye.